जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हे राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदना भज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवन यशोदानंदना भज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवन। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। नम ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारण्य। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः। गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदन गिरिधर गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन। श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत सीता हरि गुरु वैष्णव भगवत गीता। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी जय जगन्नाथ। जय बलदेव जय बलदेव स्वामी जय बलदेव। जय सुभद्रा मते जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भावतु मे। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भावतु मे निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो निताय गौरांगो गौर हरि जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि पतित पवन पतित पवन पतित पवन गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदाङ्कितं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण बाधान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भागवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये महा नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण्य हिताय च जगत हिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा प्रभु जी माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
कृष्णा
दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम। प्रभु जी माता जी it's a sincere need your blessings. Okay, from bottom of my heart I am telling you I do not have any qualification to touch even Bhagavatam. Forget about reading, discussing. I don't have qualification to even touch it. So I need your blessings. Thank you. Uh, Today is very auspicious day where today is Prabhupada arrived in US. Okay, this is the day where Prabhupada landed in United States of America to distribute this knowledge to this entire world. So it's very auspicious day. It is. September 17th. Today it is what is landed. Prabhupada over there in the Jaladuta ship. Just to start with, Prabhupada has taken two things when he's traveling 2 years. Apart from his minimum things, which is clothes, he has taken two things. One is his bead bag. The second one is Bhagavatam set. First two books, first two cantos. He has taken these two when he's traveling to United States of America along with his 40 rupees. So he has that level of confidence on Bhagavatam. Okay. Let me share my screen, Prabhuji's. Okay. First, I will talk about one or two slides about the glories of Bhagavatam. And just going to give some kind of summarizing what is the pattern we are following. It is being recommended by Lilananda Prabhu and Praveen Prabhu, okay, saying that like we will be reading, okay, starting from Canto 1, chapter by chapter. That is what is being discussed. And now from now on, like we are going to start reading chapter by chapter, okay, in these Bhagavatam classes on Saturday, Sunday, and also on Ekadasi. We'll continue. Chapter 1 is going to be very heavy. It has very, very deep and very high philosophy, especially first two slokas. We'll try to complete the first. It is almost like a 60% of the first chapters. The deep philosophy contains first two slokas only. So we'll try to complete those. We'll try to understand those. We'll try to read Prabhupada purports, okay, line by line, especially first two slokas. Okay, maybe later, maybe we'll try to read important purports. But for today, because we are going through first two slokas, it is worth to read first two purports, first two slokas purports. It has a lot of very high dense philosophy in that. Shall I share my screen, Prabhu? Okay, let me start sharing.
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu, you have permissions. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, I shared my screen, Prabhu. So as I mentioned, today is the Prabhupada landed in United States of America. Hope you are able to see my presentation.
Prabhuji, you can make it full screen.
Okay, Prabhu, sure.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. This is, one second, Prabhu. Yeah, I'm just pulling up. Yeah, this is the first sloka which is explaining the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, the importance of Bhagavatam, which is on in first canto, third chapter, and 43rd sloka. Anybody help me to read the sloka? Yeah. Anybody can just unmute yourself and just read the.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can make. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishnesva dhamopagate dharma jnanadibhi saha kalau nastha drisham esha puranarko dhanoditaha.
Correct. Thank you very much, Praveen Prabhu. So here, in fact, this sloka is talked by Sutta Goswami to all the sages. Okay, in chapter 3 of first canto. In this, it says that the Bhagavata Purana is a brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance of the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So everybody is worried, okay, when the Lord Krishna is left this world, left in the sense it is not physically there, okay, but he's there in everyone's heart, okay. But what is the solution for us? What is the solution for us? Is everybody is worried. That is what is here. So the Goswami is telling to everybody, saying that when even if Krishna is not there physically, when you're not able to see him, okay, he has given the Bhagavatam to all of us. That is what he's telling here. It's been arranged just after the departure. Okay, the Bhagavatam is the thing which is giving direction to all of us. That is what he's talking about this particular sloka. Okay, moving on. I just have put 2 slides which is giving importance of Bhagavatam, because we are starting from first canto, first chapter. So here it is explanation of all the Vedic literature. So we should understand that this is there in teachings of Lord Chaitanya in chapter 23. So we should understand that it is explanation of all Vedic literature. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam is the explanation of all Vedic literature. We should understand that Srimad Bhagavatam is a real explanation of Brahma Sutra, and it is compiled by Vyasadeva himself. Okay, and it is said in the Garuda Purana that the Srimad Bhagavatam is authorized explanation of Brahma Sutra, and it is further explanation of Mahabharata. Okay, and it is an expansion of Gayatri Mantra and essence of Vedic knowledge. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, contains 18,000 verses, and it is known as explanation of all Vedic literature. So in fact, here Prabhupada mentioned the importance of Bhagavatam in our spiritual life with this particular statement. Okay, I'll move on, Prabhuji's, from Mataji's. So, Supreme Vedic literature. Okay, it is mentioned in Chaitanya, okay, Madhya Lila in 25, 143, 144. The meaning of Vedanta Sutra is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. The full puppet of Mahabharata is also there. The commentary of Brahma Gayatri is also there, and fully expanded with all Vedic knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme Purana. It is mentioned here, Srimad Bhagavatam is a supreme Purana, and it was compiled by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead in his incarnation of Vyasadeva. So here, so Krishna himself is a Vyasadeva is incarnation of Sri Krishna. So he himself compiled, and he said it is the highest Purana, and it has 12 cantos, and it contains 335 chapters and 18,000 verses. Okay. So here I am just gave a small explanation on what is this, how is this Bhagavatam first chapter is started. So it is more of a conversation between Saunaka Rishi and Suta Goswami. It is and Saunaka Rishis, there are many thousands of rishis gathered in Naimisharanya, and over there they were doing yajna for about 1,000 years, and over there it is being welcomed by Saunakadi rishis. They welcomed Suta Goswami, okay, by Saunakadi rishis, and they have requested him to talk about Bhagavatam. And they know that Suta Goswami has heard this complete Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami conversation. So this all, whatever we are reading now, it is all being heard from what is in Naimisharanya. This particular yajna happened for about 1,000 years. And then in this first chapter, okay, there are about 6 questions is being asked. So first, and the answers for this first chapter, the 6 questions is being revealed in second and third chapter. That is where it got started. So here I am giving a bit summary on what is the structure of the first chapter. First chapter name itself is Questions by Sages. It is being divided into 3 parts. The first part is kind of like the more of the philosophy, which we can call it as a prelude. Okay, which first sloka is talking about the definition of absolute truth, which is Krishna. And then second sloka is talking about glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And third sloka is talking about invitation for all of us to read Srimad Bhagavatam and release Bhagavatam. That is the first part. And second part is setting the scene. Okay, is where sages glorify Suta Goswami and then setting the context, and they will request. Okay, sages request Suta Goswami to explain the Bhagavatam. That is what happens in 4th to 8th sloka. And then 9th to 23 sloka, where the sages talk about the problems in the Kali Yuga people tendencies, and they talk about the importance of hearing. And then they ask the most important universal 6 questions they can ask. The sages do ask Suta Goswami. So in our traditional, in our Vedic world Prabhuji's Matajis, everything starts with a question and then there will be answer and there will be a question and answer. That is how the conversations takes place. Okay. So let us start with first sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sorry, I have not asked, is my voice is clear? Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So anybody want okay to read this first sloka?
Should I read it, Prabhuji? Is it,
Yeah,
Hare
please go
Krishna.
ahead, Prabhu. Please read it. Hare Krishna, please read.
Lilananda, please go ahead.
Oh, you want me to read? Okay. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadyasya yatho anvayaditaras chartveshu abhignaswarat tene brahma hridayadi kavaye muhyanti yatsuraya tejo varimadham yatha vinimaya yatra trisango amrisha धामना सेवना सदा नरस्थ कुहकम सत्यम परम धीमहि.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Okay. Okay. Who my Lord Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all pervading personality of the Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because he is absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations and he is independent because there are no other causes beyond him. He is only, it is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the virginal living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusionary representation of water seen in a fire or a land seen in a water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who eternally exists in transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusionary representation of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is absolute truth. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, first and foremost thing, Prabhuji, here, what is the first statement in the Bhagavatam? Is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. What does it mean? My obeisances to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Vasudeva. Vasudeva means the son of Vasudeva. Son of Vasudeva, first and foremost statement, he is telling that the first sloka of first statement, Vyasa Maharshi, Vyasadeva, is doing obeisances to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Sri Krishna. So the first few lines, first paragraph of the Veda base, it talks about, 1 second. It's talk about the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Why Sri Krishna is being called as a Supreme Person of the Godhead? So Vyasadeva gives in the purport, Prabhupada writes few things. Okay, on what is the basis? We say that the Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. On what basis we are saying that? And what is the proof? Okay, that is what is first two paragraphs. First para is talking about that. So let us start reading the first para. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Okay. First purport is very difficult. It has almost around 5 to 6 pages. And after reading the first two para, okay, once we all agree that the Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead and understand the reasons, then this particular sloka is divided into 7 parts. We can discuss that. Okay, so let us read this first para. Anybody is okay to read this first para? Are you able to see it in database?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji.
Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Vasudeva directly indicate Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. This fact will be more explicitly explained in the text of this work. Sri Vyasadeva asserts herein that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all others are his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of the portion. Srila Jiva Goswami has even more explicitly explained the subject matter in his Krishna Sandarbha. And Brahma, the original living being, has explained the subject of Sri Krishna substantially in his treatise named Brahma Samhita. In an Upanishad in the Samaveda, it is also stated that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the first proposition holds that Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature is to be understood as belonging to the absolute personality of Godhead, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, which means the all-attractive. In Bhagavad-Gita, in many places, the Lord asserts himself to be the original personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed by Arjuna and also by great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others. In the Padma Purana, it is also stated that out of the innumerable names of the Lord, the name of Krishna is the principal one. Vasudeva indicates the plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, and all the different forms of the Lord being identical with Vasudeva are indicated in this text. The name Vasudeva particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always meditated upon by the Paramahamsas, who are the perfected among those in the Prabhuji, a little bit scroll it. You have to scroll that.
Yeah, I did scroll. Mataji, you will get it.
Because the loss in the renounced order of life, it is not seen properly. Yeah. Anyway, I just.
Yeah. The name of Vasudeva particularly indicates the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always made it upon by Paramahamsas, who are preferred Paramahamsas, who are the perfected ones among those of the renounced order of life. Thank you very much, Mataji. Wonderful reading. Okay, here it is being given. Okay, what is that different Samaveda is talking about? What is that Brahma Samhita is talking about? See, Brahma is the first Jiva, okay, for this entire universe. So Brahma says that Krishna is the supreme. So in fact, in Brahma Samhita, he says that, okay, I am incarnation of the Son. Means, okay, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Mahavishnu, Kshirodayaki Vishnu, okay, and I am son of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, okay. So incarnation of incarnation. So he says that I am such a plenary person. Where I am. In fact, you are the originator for all the universes. In fact, if there is a sunlight which is falling from a window, okay, and sunlight is continuously falling from the window, it is like a a ray. In that ray, if you call that as a ray, is like a universe. Okay, in that ray, Brahma is like a one jiva. That is what Brahma Samhita Brahma is tells to Sri Krishna, saying that where I am, where you are. Okay, this kind of explanation he is giving over there. 1 second. We'll just understand a little bit on from the Bhagavad-Gita point of view. What is that Sri Krishna told about himself? Sri Krishna told about himself. Okay, I just pulled 2 slokas. What is it Krishna is talking about himself? So in one of the sloka, he said, Aham sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Okay, everything emanates from me. That is what he told. Okay. And another sloka, this is 10.8. There is another sloka which is 7.7. Matta paratam mattam matta parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. Means here he is saying, oh conqueror of the wealth, there is no truth superior to me. He is directly saying this. Everything rests upon me. As pearls are strung on the thread. So this is basically the direct explanation to us, and also the Prabhupada purport, and also Vyasadeva said, okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So all these things are kind of the foundation pillars, and very initially itself is telling to all of us, saying that it has been established that Krishna is the supreme person of the Godhead, and that is a subject matter which has been talked in Bhagavatam. Okay, so okay. I'm just playing one slide here, Prabhuji. So the sloka which is read here, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, then after that, whatever we have read is kind of overall, it has the 7 qualities of absolute truth, which is Krishna is being talked here in first sloka. 7 qualities of Sri Krishna. So the first quality which is being talked about here is Janma Janmadeyasya Yataha. Means it is telling here that he is the primeval cause of all causes of creation and maintenance and destruction. Okay, and then this is the first quality of the Krishna. Means, okay, entire creation, it could be material or spiritual. Everything is created from him. And in this, if it is a material one, it is created for him, it is maintained for him by him, and it is also destructed by him. That is what he's talking about. It is one of the characteristic or quality of a Krishna. The second one is, which is talking here, is Anvayadi Itarsasya. Second, Prabhuji. Anvayadi Taratascha Abhichesti Swarat. It is talking here. He is directly, stays in everyone. He is saying that he is directly and indirectly conscious or aware of all manifestations. Means, okay, he is aware of everyone, everything in this universe. That is what he is talking. Here, there are 2 things he is saying here. One is he is directly cognizant or conscious, and at the same time, he is saying that indirectly also. He is saying that both directly and indirectly. Okay, cognizant or conscious are aware of all the manifestations. Okay, we'll try to discuss this particular. What does it mean by directly? What is that by indirectly? So while we reading purpose, we'll understand that. The third one is Sarvam. Swarat. The third one is Swarat. Swarat means he is fully independent. We are dependent on him, but he is fully independent. He is not dependent on anyone. So what does it mean? We will discuss in the purpose. Then Tene Brahma Hrudaya Adi Kavya. Means here he is saying that entire Vedic knowledge, okay, in fact, it is been imparted the Vedic knowledge into first Brahma. From Brahma, we got this knowledge into all the sages and everyone. And then the fifth one, Muhyanti yat Sora, okay, Sorayaha means he is saying that by him, ever great sages and demigods also get illusion. Means what he is trying to say over here is even the sages and demigods also get an illusion. Also, will maybe can be under illusion. Illusion is nothing but under Maya. And then here he is giving example here. Okay, example here he is giving like just one is bewildered by illusion of representation of water seen in a fire or a land seen in a water, something like that. He is giving explanation here. Okay, and then the sixth one he is saying, okay, Vinimaya yatra trai sargo mishra means by him the material universe is temporarily manifested by three modes. Okay, appear factual because of his Maya. Okay, because of three modes of material nature, three modes of this material universe, we are thinking it as a real but factual, even though this is not actually factual. Okay, and then the seventh one is Dhamana Svena Sadha, okay, Nirasta Kohakam means he is eternally existent and his transcendental abode which is forever free from illusions. Means what he's trying to say over here is he is still there in the Vaikuntha and that place is free from illusion. So we need to understand Prabhuji's Mataji's. This is a material world where we are under all control of illusion. Means we are under control of Maya. But he is saying that where Vaikuntha, it is completely free from illusion. So why is like that? Why we are under Maya? Okay. And Vaikuntha is definitely not under Maya. Why we are under control of illusion? Even he is saying that sometimes, okay, even the demigods could be under illusion. So these, okay, the explanation of all these seven qualities of Krishna, okay, is the purport which is given by Prabhupada. So let us start reading. Yeah. So the first one, what is the first attribute is being talked about here is Janmasya asya yataha. Janmadya, sorry. Okay, Janmadasya yato Janmadasya yato yataha. Janmadasya yataha. So here it is saying that he is the primeval cause of all causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. This is the explanation which is given by Prabhupada. So he is saying that anybody can read this first para here. Prabhuji Mataji, anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Let me, Prabhuji.
Please. Yeah, please.
Vasudeva or Lord Sri Krishna is the cause of all causes. Everything that exists emanates from the Lord. How this is so is explained in later chapters of this work. This work is described by Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya as the spotless Purana because it contains the transcendental narration of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. The history of the Srimad Bhagavatam is also very glorious. It was compiled by Sri Vyasadeva after he had attained maturity in transcendental knowledge. He wrote this under the instructions of Sri Narada Ji, his spiritual master. Vyasadeva compiled all Vedic literature containing the four divisions of Vedas, the Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and so on. But nevertheless, he was not satisfied. His dissatisfaction was absorbed by his spiritual master, and thus Narada advised him to write on the transcendental activities of Lord Sri Krishna. These transcendental activities are described specifically in the 10th canto of this work. But in order to reach to the very substance, one must proceed gradually by developing knowledge of the categories. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. So here Krishna, here Prabhupada is saying that, okay, Lord Sri Krishna is the cause of all causes. Most of the times we get one question, okay, when we are seeing the world, when we are seeing the trees, plants, sky, stars, first what is the question we get, okay, when somebody is a child, okay, where all these came from? Where all these came from? See, Prabhuji's Mataji, the world, this earth is rotating, okay, once in a year, accurately, okay, 365 days, 365 days, exactly it is rotating. And not only earth, all the planets is rotating in the same, okay, in the exact period. Not only for this particular star, every star has its own planets, okay, every planet is rotating in the orbit in the exact same way. And if you see the pictures which you got it from the NASA or ISRO, okay, so the world earth is just like hanging in the, just like a ball, just hanging like a ball. So just get bewildered, like how it is happening, how it is possible. This is very fundamental question. Here Krishna, Prabhupada and Vyasadeva is saying that, okay, straight away, okay, everything is the creation, maintenance, okay, destruction, everything is happening through Krishna. That is what here he is saying this. And in second para here is also continuation how this particular universe is created. It's like here it is talking about the philosophers, okay, philosophers mind always think of what is the origin of this particular creation. So when we see night, okay, we see so many stars. So here the first statement itself, okay, here Vyasadeva has said everything is from Krishna. Everything is from Krishna. Everything is imitated from Krishna. Everything will go back to Krishna. That is what is being told here. So the modern system, for example, has created a space satellite, and by arrangement or other, these satellites are shown into the outer space to fly for some time at the control of scientists who are far away. Similarly, all the universes, which are innumerable stars and the planets, are controlled by the intelligence of the personality of the Godhead. See, it is simply not possible, okay, by this, it is being told, okay, it is not possible for us to count the number of stars. Forget about number of stars. We don't even can tell the number of galaxies which are there. It is been unlimited. It is like infinity stars are there, okay. Anything which we could not count, we call it as infinity. So that many stars are there. Again, this particular world is only 1/3 of the spiritual world. So we cannot imagine the energy of Lord, the power of Lord. We just need to accept and surrender to the lotus, his lotus feet. So in the continuation of this particular thing, so in this particular para, the continuation of the puppet here, Krishna is saying that Krishna is the chief of all living personalities. That is what here the continuation of the puppet is telling. Anyone else wants to read this? I just highlighted the part.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
1 second, Prabhuji. In the
Shall I go
Vedic
ahead, Prabhuji?
literature, it is said that the absolute truth, personality of Godhead, is the chief amongst all living beings, amongst all living personalities. All the living beings, beginning from the first created being, Brahma, down to the smallest ant, are individual living beings. And above Brahma, there are even other living beings with individual capacities, and the personality of Godhead is also similar living being. He is an individual as are the others living beings. But the Supreme Lord are the supreme living being as greatest intelligence, and he possesses supermost inconceivable energies of all different varieties. If the man's brain can produce a space satellite One can very easily imagine how brains of higher than man can produce which are far superior. The reasonable person will will easily accept this argument, but there are stubborn atheists who would never agree. Srila Vyasadeva, however, at once accepts the supreme intelligence as the Parameshwara. He offers his respectable obeisances unto the supreme intelligence, addressed, sorry,
Addressed.
addressed as a Para, or the Parameshwara, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that Parameshwara is Sri Krishna, as admitted in Bhagavad-Gita and other scriptures delivered by Srila Vyasadeva, and specifically in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the Lord says that there is no other Paratattva, Samambonam, than himself. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva at once worships the Paratattva, Sri Krishna, whose transcendental activities are described in the 10th canto.
Yeah. The similar example Prabhupada explaining again here about the space satellite, where the human intelligence is very limited, where we are able to send the satellite, which is revolving. So we can imagine the power of Sri Krishna and his intelligence, which is unimaginable. Okay. And the next one here Prabhupada is talking about Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says that the Bhagavatam is internal potency. Okay. See, Krishna's external potency is this material world, but Bhagavatam is not his, but Bhagavatam is his internal potency. Means when we are spending a time of 1 hour of Bhagavatam, means we are with Krishna. Why we are saying that, like when we are with Krishna, when we are spending or reading or listening Bhagavatam, the reason for that is Bhagavatam is his internal potency. Okay. So Bhagavatam is nourished as of the Swarupa of the Lord manifested by his internal potency. And this potency is distinguished from the external potency, which is manifested in the cosmic world, which within our experience. Okay. So the next para is talking about Achinta Bheda Abheda Tattva. There are two things, right, Prabhu, where we have something like everything is oneness. Okay. And then one is there is another thing which is duality. But what Prabhupada and Gauda Vaishnava Sampradaya or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proposed is the Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, okay, which is being explained in this particular para. Prabhuji's Mataji is the first sloka of the first purport itself is of around 7 pages, and it has a lot of a dense philosophy. Maybe I'm not sure we need to read, or I can just explain. Lilananda Prabhu, shall I just explain it, Prabhuji, instead of reading it? Or Praveen Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu. However you're prepared, please go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva is being explained in this particular para. Here, what is being explained here is, for example, here Prabhupada mentions, okay, here suppose we are just like a gold rings, and Krishna is like a gold mine. So is the gold ring and gold mine has the same qualities? Yes, they do have the same qualities. But at the same time, can we compare gold ring with gold mine? No, it is not possible. It's just not possible for us to compare. Okay. But gold ring is different from gold mine. But the qualities are same, but the quantity or the capacity when compared to the gold ring or gold mine is completely uncomparable. That is what he's talking about. Achinta Bheda Abheda Tattva. And then there is a word here, Abhijit and Swarat. These are the two things are there in this first chapter. Abhijnaha and Swarat. Abhijnaha means he is aware of everything. Means Krishna has the knowledge of our life, our future life, our past life, and everything. Okay. And in Bhagavad-Gita, also he told to Arjuna, when Arjuna asked a question, he says that, I know about you, I know your previous life. Not only your previous life, I know everything. Everyone's life I know, but you don't know about me, but I know everything. That is what he said. That is what is meaning of Abhijnaha. And Swarat means, he's saying that Swarat means he is fully independent and we all depend on him. What is an example that we are independent and we are dependent on him? What does it mean? So let us little discuss on that, Prabhuji. What is that we are fully dependent on him? What kind of independent? There is nothing like we are independent. We are for everything dependent on him. Let us take simple example. We are taking prasadam. After taking prasadam, for digestion, what is happening? Again, Krishna has to digest. Krishna is there within our body, and through Jataragni, okay, the food is getting digested, and then after that, energy is being passed to all the different parts of our body. In fact, Krishna is doing everything for us. He is a person, okay, who is creating hunger for us, and he is the one gave all seeds for us. He is the one who is giving food for us, and he is the one who has given all these 5 elements for us. And after taking the prasadam also, he is actually digesting. So we are fully dependent on Krishna. But Krishna is independent of anyone. That is what is being talked about here, Swarat. And then the fourth quality which is being talked here is Tene Brahma Hridaya Ya Adi Kavaye. Means here Krishna is telling that the first I have given this knowledge to Brahma. From Brahma, the knowledge came to all the sages, means to Narada Maharshi. From Narada Maharshi to Vyasadeva. From Vyasadeva to Sukha Maharshi, Sukha Goswami, and then Suta Goswami, and then to all Parampara, we got this knowledge. That is what here he is telling. So he is the one who gave this knowledge to Brahma. So this particular para, anybody wants to read, Prabhuji?
I can read, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
That the Supreme Lord is all perfect is confirmed in all Shruti mantras. That the all perfect Lord threw a glance over the matter and thus created all living beings. The living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord, and he impregnates the vast material creation with seeds of spiritual parks. And thus, the creative energies are set in motion to enact so many wonderful creations. An atheist may argue that God is no more expert than a watchmaker, but of course, God is greater because he can create machines in duplicate male and female forms. The male and female forms of different types of machineries go on producing innumerable similar machines without God's further attention. If a man could manufacture such a set of machines that could produce other machines without his attention, then he could approach the intelligence of the God. But that is not possible, for each machine has to be handled individually. Therefore, no one can create as well as God. Another name for God is Asamortha, which means that no one is equal to or greater than him. Param Satyam, or the supreme truth, is he who has no equal or superior. This is confirmed in the Shruti mantras. It is said that before the creation of the material universe, there existed the Lord only, who is the master of everyone. That Lord instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge. That Lord has to be obeyed in all respects. Anyone who wants to get rid of the material entanglements must surrender unto him. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita. Should I continue reading, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. You just read this.
Yeah, okay. Unless one surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that he will be bewildered. When an intelligent man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna and knows completely that Krishna is the cause of all causes, as confirmed in Bhagavad-Gita, then only can such an intelligent man become a Mahatma or a great soul. But such a great soul is rarely seen. Only the Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is the primeval cause of all creations. He is Parama, or ultimate truth, because all other truths are relative to him. He is omniscient. For him, there is no illusion. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Here, who is Mahatma? Okay, Prabhupada is giving here. Bhagavad Gita. Only such intelligent. What is that intelligence here? Man surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna and knows completely that Krishna is cause of all causes and confirmed, and the same is confirmed by Bhagavad Gita. He is being called as Mahatma. And such souls are very, very rare. Only Mahatmas can understand that the Supreme Lord is a cause of all creations. And he is Parama, or ultimate truth, because of all other truths are related to him. So here, this entire knowledge which is being given to Brahma. So from the Brahma, all this particular knowledge is being followed, continued. So the next one is, and these 7 points which is being mentioned here completely mixed up, Prabhuji. Here which is been we discussed till here now. Yeah, till here we have discussed, but these points which is been mixed up with the other purpose which is there in the information. But let us take up this particular, the fifth one. The fifth point which he says that by him ever great sages and demigods are illusioned, means even devatas are under Maya. Means sages are also sometimes are under Maya. What does it mean? This is a very big statement here. And again in 7, he says that the Vaikuntha is not under control of Maya. Absolutely. Okay, but we are under control of the Maya. Why? The reason why we are under control of the Maya. What is the reason for that? And also here he says that, okay, because we are under 3 modes of material nature, we are under control of Maya. That is what he says in point number 6. So what is the reason for Krishna to keep us under Maya or under 3 modes of material nature? Anybody wants to answer that, Prabhu? Just want to comment? Not even anyone wants. Why we are under Maya? Why we are under control of Maya?
Krishna Prabhuji, it's what we want. He just for providing it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Prabhu. The reason for that is, yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Prabhu. You just on spot. Because we want to be under Maya. That is the reason he has put it under Maya. That's all. A simple reason. If you decide ourselves, I don't want to be under control of Maya, I want to be under control of Krishna, then automatically you are not under control of Maya. So it is our free will that we are under control of Maya. That's all. But when we are under control of Maya, when we are not under control of Krishna, automatically we are under control of Maya. So how do you come out of Maya? Only one particular there are few we have to follow few things. Then in that particular situation, we will come out of control of Maya. See, it's already mentioned. Okay, Bhagavatam is internal potency, is Krishna's internal potency. When you're sitting with Bhagavatam, when you're reading the Bhagavatam, when you're listening Bhagavatam, you're not under control of Maya. When you're chanting the holy name, you're not under control of Maya. When you are with a devotee association, you are not under control of Maya. So the more time you spend with Krishna, means the more time you spend with Krishna and his devotees, then you are under less control of Maya. So in nutshell, what is it we have to do? What we have to do is spending more time with the things which are related to Krishna and his devotees and Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita. Then automatically you are under control of Krishna, means automatically become Krishna Das. So I was just wondering, Prabhuji's Matajis, okay. What I was wondering, okay, in purpose, Prabhupada mentions saying that devotional service. Okay, what does it mean by devotional service? Again, he says that pure devotional service. When he said like pure devotional service, which is being explained by him, first of all, when I start trying to understand, I was trying to do some kind of research on this particular word, serve, just serve. So I heard few very interesting points. One of the interesting point which I heard is, when I did some kind of research, I found that when somebody is fully satisfied, when he is happy, when he is contemplate, when I did my introspection, I myself realized that when I am helping others, I am satisfied. What does it mean by when I am helping others? Means I am serving others. So when you are serving others means what? When I am serving others, automatically I am becoming happy. So how that is happening? Is there any link between my mind and my intelligence and my body with serving? I spent some time on that. So I have realized that when I'm serving others, when anybody is serving others, there is one enzyme which is being generating from our mind. Okay, I'll just give you the name of that enzyme. Just wrote it here. Okay, there is something like an endorphin enzyme. Okay, endorphin and many other enzymes being generated from us. That particular enzyme is causing for us to have the happiness. So there is some research happened. Can we generate that particular enzyme artificially by laboratory? Okay, it was not possible to generate. So when you are serving someone, you are getting that satisfaction. Now let's move to the next steps. When you are serving someone, still you are under Maya, means, but still you are serving. So here it is giving some satisfaction. But when you compare that, when you are serving your Guru, when you are serving Lord Krishna, what kind of satisfaction one will get? That is where the secret of pure devotional service. Here, pure devotional service means we're not expecting anything in return, but doing a pure devotional service. So that is basically the secret, where in the pure devotional service, this entire secret is there, where we get unlimited happiness and unlimited satisfaction. So here I try to connect that, okay, with this example. 1 second. Where is the PPT? Let me open that. Yeah. So when you do this more service, okay, when you are with Krishna, automatically this illusion completely gone. That is the secret of the Prabhupada and Prabhupada purport which is given to us. And at the same time, in 7th, he said, he is eternally exist in his transcendental abode. Means he is saying that he is always there in his Vaikuntha Goloka. And over there, it's only bliss, because Maya is not there. So once we start spending more and more time with associates and devotees and bhakti related activities, and we are under control of Krishna, then automatically our time under Maya will continuously reduce. So, and at the end, Vyasadeva concluded saying that I meditate upon him, and for he is the absolute truth. That is what Vyasa Maharshi gave the first sloka, started with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he talked about 7 qualities of God. And finally, he said that I am meditating on him, on the absolute truth. So with this, we can conclude first 2 sloka, Prabhu. If time permits, we will just take up second sloka, if that is okay. Okay. So we'll take up second sloka, Prabhu. Prabhuji's Mataji's. Anybody okay to read the second sloka, Prabhu?
Yeah, I can try.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay.
Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavam atra vastu sivadham tapatrayon Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Kim va parairishvara Sadhyo Hrudyavatyunatetra Kritibi Subhishistat Kshanat. Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. You have read it very nicely, Prabhu. Thank you very much. In the same way as the first sloka, in the second sloka as well. In the second sloka, Krishna is talking about. Okay, first let us read the meaning and then we can discuss, Prabhu. Here, in second sloka, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from the illusion of welfare of all. Such a truth uproots the threefold miseries. The beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sages Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient to itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within heart. So here, in the very similarly, the first sloka, here also, this is being divided into two parts. This particular sloka is talking about the glories of Bhagavatam. What is that Bhagavatam is talking overall? The first sloka is talked about absolute truth. Second sloka is talking about Bhagavatam. The 7 points, okay, 7 points. What is that Bhagavatam is talking about? The first one, Dharma Projita Kaitavo, means it is rejecting all cheating religion. All cheating religion. What does it mean by cheating religion? In fact, when I have read it, I kind of shocked Prabhuji's Mataji's. So the reason for that is, so I just drawn this mind map. I'll try to explain you this, and then we can easily understand. Hope is this map is visible for everyone?
Yes, Prabhuji. When you zoom, we were able to see it. Yes, now it's very clear.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Here, everybody start with, okay, when a person is born, okay, without any Sanatan Dharma, okay, he will be having a religion life. Assuming that somebody is there, like it's not followed a religion life, he is having a religion life. What does it mean by religion life? Religion life is nothing but very simple, just spending on 4 things: eating, sleeping, okay, meeting and defending, or eating, sleeping, fearing and mating. That is what everybody is doing. There is no major difference between an animal and a human life when he's not following any religion. That is what actually in today's world, more than 90% of the population is under this category. So there is absolutely no difference on this. But now moving on here, Krishna is talked about, okay, or Bhagavatam is talked here. He is even rejecting the religious life. What is the religious life? He is being talked here. Here, religious life means there are 4 things. What are those 4 things? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which we all know. So Prabhuji's Mataji's, when we go to any temple, what is it Pujari says? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Praptirastu. So directly or indirectly, what is his blessing us to have? Follow the Dharma and Artha. And then by following Dharma, you get some Artha. by having some artha. Artha means nothing but money. And then you do karma. And when you are completely bored with karma, look for moksha. So how do you look for moksha? Merge with God. This is completely condemned by Bhagavatam, rejecting. And it is being called it as cheating religion. The reason for that is anything which is been because when you're doing pure when you're doing dharma means which is pious activities, you're continuously doing pious activities, then what is where you go? You go to a better loka, means you may go to Svargaloka. Now from Svargaloka again you fall back. Anything which is not breaking because of this religious life, which you are doing pious activities and then artha and then kama and then moksha, because of this continuous life cycle, you're not breaking our cycle. Means you are coming back again. We are not going back to Godhead. Because of that reason, it is being called as a cheating religion. And that is completely condemned by Bhagavatam. And the next thing which is being talked here, the second one, which is said, Paramaha, which is the highest truth, which is being talked about by Bhagavatam. What does it mean by highest truth? Vyadvaya said, okay, there are three things which is being discussed in Bhagavatam. One is Bhakta, second one is Bhakti and Bhagavan. Three things. Bhakta, Bhakti and Bhagavan. These are the three things talked. So that when these three things being talked, which is not about, it is not beyond these religious things, which is beyond the dharma, which is beyond the moksha. So that which is being calling as the highest truth. And the third one, here he's talking about what is a qualification to read Bhagavatam is being given in this particular third point. What is that? It said Nirmatra Saranam, means qualification to read Bhagavatam is 100% should be at a pure at heart. That is what is being, we should be pure at heart. And at the same time, it said we should be non-envy. So what happens? See, even in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna told this Bhagavad-Gita to Arjuna. When Arjuna asked, why you are telling me? So Krishna said, you are my dear friend. You are a non-envious to me. That is what he said. Again here Vedavyas and Bhagavatam is telling, the qualification for to read Bhagavatam is pure heart, non-enviness with any other jiva. That is what he's talking about. See, enviness is something which is horrible. But are we there? Are we 100% pure? We may not be 100% pure, but we are still attempting. By attempting, okay, automatically we become pure at some point of time. But you will realize more and more, we completely 100% release the Bhagavatam when we become 100% pure. That is what this particular third point is talking about here. The fourth one is Vastavyam Atra Vastu Svidham. What does it mean? This is distinguished from illusion and reality. What is the highest good? Okay. What is the highest good? What is the highest good? It is Bhagavatam is the thing which is telling you what is real, what is illusion. So here Prabhupada has given an example where camel is eating thorny bushes always, and blood is coming from his mouth, from the camel mouth. Then it is tasting it, and it is thinking, oh, it is a different taste of bush. At evening, it will come to know that it has eaten a thorny. Even our lives are also very similar. We are under completely illusion. So you want to understand what is illusion, what is reality, you have to come to Bhagavatam. That is what it is talking. The fourth point. And then Tapatraya Unmulanam. Here it is telling we have threefold miseries. What are those threefold miseries? Here in this mind map I did mention here. What are the threefold miseries? Okay. Adhyatmika, which is inflated body and mind, means the problems which is created because of our body and mind. And then second one is Adi Bhotika, means the problems created by the others, that is Adi Bhotika. And Adi Daivika means natural issues. Okay, if there is some kind of any kind of major heavy rains come, and then we are hit by major rains or earthquake or anything like that, that is Adi Daivika. So we are free from three miseries. He's talking here. But Prabhuji's Matajis, by reading Bhagavatam, how come you think that we'll be come out of these miseries? The miseries are there, right? But here Bhagavatam is saying that you'll come out of these three miseries. How that is possible? Anyone wants to answer that?
In Bhagavad-Gita, Prabhuji, Krishna says this, that you will transcend the three modes of material nature if you know my pastimes and if you know my form and qualities and so. So Bhagavatam actually helps us to know those.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Prabhu. In fact, we also referred the previous sloka as well. When you are reading Bhagavatam, when you understood the Bhagavad-Gita, you are not under three modes of material nature. So automatically, even though these problems are there with us, we don't feel them as they are the problems, because when you're completely realized, completely immersed in Bhagavatam, there is no question of having the material consciousness. Okay, we think that we no more into the material consciousness. We will be into soul consciousness. See, as of now, theoretically we know that I am not this body, I am the soul. Agree, everybody, Prabhuji's Matajis? And theoretically we all know, okay, that we are not this body, we are soul. But how do you fully realize that we are the soul? Means we have to experience that. There is no doubt in that I am a soul. Let's take an example here, Prabhuji's Matajis. When Prabhupada is traveling in a flight, there was some kind of major, there was some kind of problem when there was a journey is happening when he's traveling in his flight. The captain has announced there is some problem and there is some outside, there is some tufan, some major heavy rain is happening, and then the flight is also moving heavily. But everybody in the flight, okay, are left and right shouting and then like anything. But Prabhupada is continue doing his chanting. Here, Prabhupada is very clearly know that he's not the body, he is soul. So when we all know that when we are under the mode like we are the soul, we are not this body, definitely these the threefold miseries will not even touch us, because we are under a different platform altogether. So when we are fully released into the Bhagavatam, we will reach that stage. That is the stage, highest stage. And that time, what happens is, I am fully soul. This soul, the purpose of this soul is to sow super soul. That's how. Only that kind of mode will be there. And then the sixth one, Mahamuni Krate. Here he is saying that Sri Vyasadeva has compiled in his foremost matured realization. And what does it mean by foremost mature realization? Prabhuji's Matajis, okay. The Vyasadeva has written, he has divided the Vedas into 4 parts. Okay. Then after that, he wrote all Puranas. Then after that, what did he write? Then he wrote Vedanta Sutra. Then after that, even after writing that, he's not satisfied. He's not happy. He's distressed. He's not at all happy. Then that time when he's not happy, it comes in the 6th chapter. Then the Narad Maharshi comes to him and he visits him. That time he tells Vyas Maharshi, Vyasdeva says that I am not happy. Okay. And there is a conversation between Vyasadeva and Narad Maharshi. That time, the Narada Maharshi chastises Vyasadeva. What did you write? Why did you write? What time? Why did you spend this much amount of time on all this nonsense? You have not written even one Purana, one book, which is completely talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is where Vyasadeva started writing this Mahapurana, Bhagavatam. And it is being mentioned as mature realization, means this is the last Purana which is Vyasadeva has written. Many of the Acharyas commented on that. It is being written in his mature realization, means it is the last Purana which is he has written. And that is kind of like a ripe fruit. The seventh one is Isvara Sadhya Hrudi Avruddhyayati, means one who regularly and faithfully hear the message of Bhagavatam, means Stravanam is very important, which is seventh point, which is telling here about Bhagavatam. Message of Bhagavatam, one who regularly, fearfully hear the message of Bhagavatam. We should be hearing, that is what he is saying. Yes. Okay. This is the further purport which is being explained here, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yeah. This is not as big as the first purport. So let us quickly read the purport of the second purport, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Anyone volunteer to read the first two paras? First para, second para.
I can read, Prabhu, but I don't know if others wanted to read.
Okay, Prabhu, go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I will read it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, please, Prabhu.
Religion includes four primary subjects, namely pious activities, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and finally liberation from material bondage. Irreligious life is a barbarous condition. Indeed, human life begins when religion begins. Eating, sleeping, faring, and mating are the four principles of animal life. These are common both to animals and human beings, and to human beings. But religion is the extra function of the human being. Without religion, human life is no better than an animal. Therefore, in human societies, there is some form of religion which aims at self-realization and which makes reference to man's eternal relationship with God. Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, please continue this.
In the lower stages of human civilization, there is always competition to lord it over the material nature. Or, in other words, there is a continuous rivalry to satisfy the senses. Driven by such consciousness, man turns to religion. He thus performs pious activities or religious functions in order to gain something material. But if such material gains are obtainable in other ways, then so-called religion is neglected. This is the situation in modern civilization. Man is thriving economically, so at the present, he is not very interested in religion. Churches, mosques, or temples are now practically vacant. Men are more interested in factories, shops, and cinemas than in religious places which are erected by their forefathers. This practically proves that religion is performed for some economic gains. Economic gains are needed for sense gratification. Often, when one is baffled in the pursuit of sense gratification, he takes to salvation and tries to become one with the Supreme Lord. Consequently, all these states are simply different types of sense gratification.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. This is what exactly which we already discussed, okay, in the above para as well. Here, the Bhagavatam is completely condemned this religious life, where we keep on continue. We are not able to break this repeated birth and death cycle. Because of that, it is being completely condemned. Anything which is not coming out of the birth and life and death is completely condemned by Bhagavatam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Anybody wants to try this para? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. In the Vedas, In the Vedas, the above mentioned 4 activities are prescribed in a regulative way so that there will not be any undue competition of sense gratification. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all these sense gratificatory activities. It is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is a keen competition between the animal and animal. Sorry, I jumped
Animal and
down.
animal. Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Animal and animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with the materialistic because they are on the path backward to Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is a competition. But the transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free from the material envy, but are well-wishers to everyone, and they strive to establish competitionless society with God in the center. The contemporary socialistics conception of the competitionless society is artificial because in the socialistic state there is a competition for the post of dictator. From a point of view of the Vedas or from the point of view of the common human activities, sense gratification is the basis of material life. There are 3 paths mentioned in the Vedas. One involves fruitive activities to gain promotions to better planets. Another involves worshipping different demigods for the promotion to the planets of the demigods. And another involves realizing the absolute truth and his impersonal features and becoming one with him.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. So here, Prabhupada is saying, okay, even though we talk about socialist conception, okay, but still there is a competition for a dictatorship over there. So once you keep Krishna in center, then only it becomes competitionless. Means everybody is working for Krishna, okay, towards satisfying Krishna. Keeping Krishna is in center. We are working. In that way, because once Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita and Krishna comes in center, there is no question of enviness because we are just working for Krishna. Because when Krishna comes in center, we are no more into the material platform, Prabhuji's Mataji's. We are automatically in the spiritual platform. So under spiritual platform, there is no question of having this material question doesn't even come into the picture. Yeah. Okay. So anyone who wants to read this, the impersonal aspect.
Yeah. The impersonal aspect of the absolute truth is not the highest. Above the impersonal feature is the Paramatma feature, and above this is the personal feature of the absolute truth or Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavatam gives information about the absolute truth in his personal feature. It is higher than impersonalist literatures and higher than the Jnana-kanda division of the Vedas. It is even higher than the Karma-kanda division and even higher than the Upasana-kanda division because it recommends the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. In the Karma-kanda, there is a competition to reach heavenly planets for better sense gratification. And there is a similar competition in the Jnana-kanda and the Upasana-kanda. The Srimad Bhagavatam is superior to all of these because it aims at the supreme truth, which is the substance of the root of all categories. From Srimad Bhagavatam, one can come to know the substance as well as the categories. The substance is the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord, and all the emanations are relative forms of energy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this is much bigger than any of the kanda, which is Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, which is mentioned in Vedas. So what is the reason? Karma Kanda, what is that he's been talking? So Karma Kanda is talking about doing yajnas and get the fruitful results. So once you get that fruitful result, then you ask for another desire. That is what is Karma Kanda. there is no end for our desires. So karma kanda continues from this birth, next birth, and after all the births. So jnana kanda is nothing but a philosophy, understanding the philosophy, one philosophy after another philosophy, and just continue understanding the philosophy. There will not be any goal. And then upasana kanda is like I am doing upasana for a uh, demigod worship. It's more of like a demigod worship. So what is happens because of the demigod worship? So maybe you go to a demigod loka, but what happens if you go to the demigod loka? We come back again. So until we go back to Godhead, which is the permanent abode for us, we continue this birth and death cycle. And that is the reason Bhagavatam is condemned. All Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. Okay. Anybody wants to try this, Prabhu? Nothing apart from the substance. These two paras.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please go.
1 second, Prabhuji. I can't see your screen. Yeah, sorry, it's not refreshing in my mobile. Yeah, someone. I can't see your screen. Maybe someone else can.
Okay, Prabhu. No problem. Nothing is
I'll-
apart from the substance. Oh, okay, go
I
ahead,
will do
Prabhu.
it, Pradesh. If nobody is there, I will do it. Yeah. Nothing is apart from the substance, but the same time, the energies are different from the substance. This conception is not contradictory. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly promulgates this simultaneously one and different philosophy of the Vedanta Sutra, which begins with the Janmadhyasa Sutra.
Yeah.
Do you want me to continue, Prabhu?
Yeah, continue, Prabhu. This para
This
you
knowledge, this knowledge that the energy of the Lord is simultaneously one with and different from the Lord is an answer to the material speculators' attempts to establish the energy as the absolute. When this knowledge is factually understood, one sees the conception of monism and dualism to be imperfect. The development of this transcendental consciousness, grounded in the conception of the simultaneously one and different, leads one immediately to the stage of freedom from the threefold miseries. These, the threefold miseries are those miseries which arise from the mind and body, those miseries inflicted by the other living beings, and those miseries arising from the natural catas, uh, catastrophes over which one has no control. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the surrender of the devotees unto absolute person. The devotee is fully aware that he is one with the absolute, and at the same time in the eternal position of servant to the absolute. In the material conception, one falsely thinks himself the lord of all the service, and therefore he always troubled by the threefold miseries of life. But as soon as one comes to know that real position as transcendental servant, he at once becomes free from all miseries. As long as the living entity is trying to master material nature, there is no possibility of becoming servant of the Supreme. Service to the Lord is rendered in pure consciousness, and one's spiritual identity by the service one is immediately freed from the material encumbrances.
Thank you very
Over
much.
and above, this Srimad
Yeah,
Bhagavatam is continue, Yala Prabhu.
continue.
Yeah. Over and above, this Srimad Bhagavatam is personal commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by the Srila Vyasadeva. It was written in the maturity of the spiritual life through the mercy of Narada. Srila Vyasadeva is the authorized incarnation of Narayana, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, there is no question as to his authority. He is the author of all Vedic literature, yet he recommends the study of Srimad Bhagavatam above all the others. In other Puranas, there are different methods set forth by which one can worship the demigods. But in this Bhagavatam, but in the Bhagavatam only the Supreme Lord is mentioned. The Supreme Lord is the total body, and the demigods are different parts of the body. Consequently, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, one does not need to worship the demigods. The Supreme Lord becomes fixed in the heart of the devotees immediately. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended the Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Purana and distinguished it from all the Puranas. The proper method for receiving this transcendental message is to hear it submissively. A challenging attitude cannot help one realize this transcendental message.